what are some of the AI traps or issues that we should be aware of or be careful of to avoid as vendors in this space? Like, for example, overselling AI, right? That's a trap. That's something we need to be, everybody needs to be careful of. What are some, or we can dive deeper in that, or what are some of the other traps or things we should be aware of?
I've got one and it's a kind of massive, huge, kind of Grand Canyon sized trap that Fred started alluding to in the previous point. It's the we're going to have basically a power crunch in AI because there's like all of this processing is going to require all this electricity, and there isn't the capacity to service it. If you look at something like I use a few of these LLMs, and like I think there's Anthropic Claude, which isn't bad. I've got the paid one. Even with the paid one, after an hour or so, it'll tell you, "Oh no, sorry, it's got to stop there. Yellow card, get off the field for a while." And of course, you can pay if you want to carry on. And some Chat GPT doesn't seem to do that. This must be surely partly related to electricity costs. So if all of these things are going to have this huge power cost, there's going to be increasing demand as more and more people are trying this, then these costs are going to have to get passed down to the users of the technology, which are damn vendors, essentially. And I think that this is going to be one of the big traps with it, is that at the moment we're all basically paying or using AI on borrowed credit, essentially. And I think that at some stage that's going to have to be paid for properly. And I don't know how that's going to be met. Because I've heard, what was it, 64 nuclear power stations required in the US, something like that. In the UK, we can't even build one. So how is this going to I think there's these bigger, wider macro topics which are going to filter down
Ralph,
inevitably.
I do agree with you because, I start my career as I've got a PhD in nuclear physics, or
Right.
the only thing I can say, you're right, by the way.
Thank you, Fred, for the expert opinion there. Yeah.
Ralph, did you get a chance to read Empire of AI by Karen Howe?
I haven't, no. I have to confess.
Well, for anyone, for those of us listening, excellent book I read this year, and it's very much on this topic that you sort of introduced, and it's all about sustainability. She herself, a political journalist, talking about this and the server farms, and it's untenable going forward. It's a huge, massive energy suck from the world. But to throw another spin, though, Mark, I think that there is potentially a disconnect. We at AVP are calling it the AI gap, that there is a disconnect to what organizations are selling and, overselling AI. Sometimes in the industry, we oversell AI, but no one is truly prepared. The foundations are not ready. I think Ralph and Frederic have also sort of hinted at that as well, that many of us are not ready. The foundations are not there to truly embrace and potentially do some, cool stuff with AI. That's our
yeah, and I do agree. And by the way, I think DAM can be a solution for that, because one of the trends we have today is, just remember a few years ago, you upload one file, you create renditions, etc. And just from one file, you get more or less, regarding the number of renditions, you get 25% more storage. Now we see more and more, and this is one of the key technical requirements, which something we are calling the dynamic asset transformation. Okay, and we have customers, especially in retail space, from one TIFF file, large TIFF file, they are capable to live on the fly create hundreds of renditions, and especially AVI format, etc. So from super large file, just one, but nothing is stored. It's on the fly. And I like the idea more and more. And we have some very great integration between DAM, PIM, and CMS headless, etc. And as we saw with some customers, we have from one DAM, we have more than 3,000 websites. We have e-commerce, Amazon, we have marketplaces, Miracle, etc. And one file is populated in more than 250 channels from one file. So, and sustainability-wise, I think this is the right path to take. And the last thing I would like to say, because we have Luc Juliat on DAM, this guy is from Siri, etc., but Siri is more or less dead. But by the way, he was more or less talking about these AI things. And one thing, when you take a picture from your smartphone, it's 160 watts. And sometimes people say, because we don't have also to say some green bullshit, you don't have to send a picture. But when this camera, this device is sending an image, it's sending a CDN link. Okay, so it's not sending images. It's just one, and this is more or less this is a DAM, in fact, because most of the people they have hundreds of thousands of things inside, and it's all shared links. And I definitely do believe that DAM is the answer for this sustainability requirements.